Story-driven games have a magic of their own, tightly written narratives, emotional performances, and those unforgettable moments that stick with you long after the credits roll. They're not just something you play, they're something you feel. The kind of experiences that grab you by the heart, twist your emotions, and leave you staring at the screen in silence when it's all over. So today, we're diving deep into 22 of the greatest story-driven games everyone must play. Let's start with one of my all-time favorite games, Detroit Become Human. One of those games that makes you question what it means to be human, and not in a philosophy class kind of way, but through raw choices that actually hurt to make. You're juggling three androids, Connor, Kara, and Marcus, each walking a fine line between machine logic and emotional chaos. What makes it special isn't just the story branching into 1,000 directions, it's how personal it feels. Every dialogue choice, every hesitation, every mistake, it all shapes a world that feels alive and unpredictable. By the end, you're not watching a story unfold, you're owning it, rewriting it, and probably regretting half your decisions in the best way possible. It's interactive storytelling at its peak. Ghost of Tsushima is a poetic masterpiece disguised as an open-world samurai game. It's the kind of story that makes you just stop and admire the wind blowing through golden fields while you're on your way to stab someone with honor. You play as Jin Sakai, a samurai torn between the strict code of tradition and the dirty reality of survival during the Mongol invasion. The narrative isn't just about revenge, it's about identity, sacrifice, and what it means to become something you were never meant to be. Every duel feels cinematic, every cutscene feels painted, and by the time the credits roll, you realize it's not just a story about war, it's a story about the soul of a warrior. Few games punch you in the heart the way The Walking Dead does. It's less about zombies and more about people, their choices, their pain, and how much you're willing to lose to protect someone you care about. Lee and Clementine's story is simple yet unforgettable. You make decisions that don't just affect the plot, they define who you are in this broken world. There's no right or wrong choice here, just regret waiting around every corner. The writing, the pacing, the quiet emotional moments, it all hits differently. It's storytelling that doesn't pull punches, and by the end, you're not just playing a game, you're surviving a tragedy. What Remains of Edith Finch is a game that feels like reading a beautiful, haunting storybook that comes to life around you. It's a collection of short, deeply emotional stories about the Finch family, each one bizarre, creative, and heartbreakingly human. You walk through the family house, uncovering generations of loss and memory, and every story plays with gameplay in ways you don't expect. One moment you're flying through dreams, the next you're slipping into something surreal and tragic. It's a game about death that somehow feels full of life. By the end, you don't just learn what remains of Edith Finch, you realize what remains with you.
The day he made it was 95, and he did.
Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth take one of gaming's most beloved stories and reimagine it with boldness and beauty. It's not just nostalgia, it's reinvention done right. Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, and the gang return in a world that feels familiar yet completely new, with cinematic storytelling that somehow matches the emotional depth of the original. Every scene is crafted with purpose, every boss fight feels like a movie moment, and the twists, they'll leave you stunned even if you think you know the story. These games don't just retell a classic, they expand it, challenge it, and make you fall in love with it all over again. Disco Elysium isn't your typical RPG. It's a beautifully written mental breakdown wrapped in a detective story. You play as a washed-up cop trying to solve a murder, but the real mystery is yourself. The game gives you total freedom to shape your personality. You can be sharp, delusional, philosophical, or just completely unhinged, and somehow, it all works. The writing is razor sharp. The world is alive with political and emotional tension. And every dialogue choice feels like flipping through the pages of a novel written by someone who's had too much coffee and too many existential crises. It's darkly funny, deeply tragic, and unlike anything else out there, a true masterpiece in narrative design.
Calling still. Then the ocean breaks. Out of the depths, a woman's voice emerges. Small. The dearest thing you've ever heard.
Kratos went from being a rage-filled godslayer to one of the most emotionally complex characters in gaming. God of War 2018 redefines what storytelling in action games can be. It's intimate, heartfelt, and brutally cinematic. You're not just watching a father and son story, you feel it with every swing of the Leviathan axe and every quiet moment by the campfire. Then Ragnarok comes along and somehow pushes everything even higher. Bigger battles, higher stakes, deeper emotions. The bond between Kratos and Atreus is what makes it unforgettable. These two games show that even gods have to deal with grief, love, and letting go, and that's what makes their story divine.
You got a bargain.
I will kill you. Plan on that.
So nice spending time with you again. Freya, please. Can't be in two places at once.
Life is Strange is one of those rare games that perfectly captures the chaos of growing up. Except here, your teenage angst comes with the power to rewind time. You play as Max, a photography student who discovers she can manipulate time to change choices, save lives, or break everything even more. It's a story about friendship, love, and loss, set in a world that feels painfully real despite the supernatural twist. Every episode hits with emotional weight, and the soundtrack makes it all feel cinematic and nostalgic at the same time. Life is Strange isn't just about changing the past. It's about learning to live with what you can't fix.
What are you doing? Come on, put that thing down!
Don't ever tell me what to do! I'm so sick of people trying to control me!
You are going to get in hella more trouble for this than drugs.
Nobody would ever even miss your punk ass, would they?
Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West deliver a story that feels both ancient and futuristic. Tribal societies fighting for survival in a world ruled by robot dinosaurs. But what makes these games truly shine is Aloy. She's one of the best written protagonists in modern gaming. Curious, determined, and deeply human. The mystery of the old world unfolds like a sci-fi epic, and the emotional journey across both games feels massive in scope, but personal at its core. Forbidden West builds on everything with richer lore, stronger characters, and visuals that could pass as a tech demo for the future. It's not just about machines, it's about humanity rediscovering itself. Heavy Rain is basically an interactive thriller movie where your choices decide who lives, who dies, and how much guilt you can live with. It's a tense, moody story about a father searching for his kidnapped son, with a serial killer lurking in the rain-soaked city. Every scene drips with suspense, literally, and the quick-time decisions keep you constantly on edge. The writing might have some quirks, but when the pressure's on and you're sweating over which button to press, it's impossible not to get hooked. It's a classic in narrative gaming, flawed but fascinating, and proof that storytelling can be just as powerful when you're the one turning the page.
Oh my god, that's so sad, dude.
Hellblade. Senua's Sacrifice isn't just a game, it's an experience that crawls under your skin and refuses to leave. You play as Senua, a Celtic warrior battling through hellish visions to save the soul of her dead lover. But the real battle happens inside her mind. The game portrays psychosis with haunting realism. Whispers echo in your head, shadows twist around you, and reality constantly shifts. It's not just dark, it's deeply human. The motion capture, binaural audio, and minimalist storytelling create something raw and unsettling. By the end, you don't just understand Senua's pain, you feel it. It's one of those rare games that turns mental struggle into art, and it's unforgettable because of it. The Last of Us series redefined what emotional storytelling in games could be. Part 1 is a brutal, beautiful tale of survival and love. A broken man finding purpose in a world gone to hell. Joel and Ellie's journey hits you hard, not because of the zombies, but because of how human it all feels. Then Part 2 takes that bond and tears it apart in the most devastating way possible. It's darker, more complex, and uncomfortably real. You don't just watch these characters, you live through their choices, their anger, and their grief. Together, these two games form one of the most powerful narratives ever told in gaming. You'll cry, you'll rage, and you'll never forget it.
Look, we got her. Okay?
You're gonna fucking die!
What's going on?
Until Dawn Remake takes everything fans loved about the original and gives it a stunning cinematic glow-up. It's a horror story straight out of a teen slasher movie. A group of friends stuck on a mountain, making choices that'll determine who survives till sunrise. Every decision feels like holding someone's life in your hands, and the branching paths keep you guessing till the end. The remake sharpens the visuals, updates the performances, and makes every scream feel painfully real. It's campy in the best way possible, part movie, part nightmare, and completely addicting. If you've ever shouted at horror characters for making dumb decisions, this time, it's your fault.
That's it. Come on, let's go.
Silent Hill 2 Remake isn't just reviving a classic, it's resurrecting one of the most psychologically disturbing stories ever told in games. It's not horror in the jump scare sense, it's horror that digs deep into guilt, grief, and human decay. James Sunderland's journey through the fog-choked streets of Silent Hill is less about monsters and more about facing the things you can't forgive yourself for. The remake updates everything with stunning visuals and sound design that makes your skin crawl, yet it preserves the soul of the original. It's haunting, poetic, and deeply tragic, the kind of story that stays in your mind long after the screen fades to black.
Liar. That's a lie.
No. It's the truth.
Insomniac's Spider-Man games aren't just superhero power fantasies. They're heartfelt stories about responsibility, loss, and finding balance in chaos. The first game nails the feeling of being Spider-Man, the swinging, the humor, the heart, while also exploring Peter Parker's struggles behind the mask. Then Spider-Man 2 takes things to another level, giving us two heroes, bigger stakes, and emotional storytelling that hits harder than expected. Miles and Peter's arcs intertwine beautifully, blending personal growth with city-shaking action. It's cinematic, it's heartfelt, and it reminds you why Spider-Man's always been one of the most relatable heroes ever. Not because he can fly, but because he keeps getting back up.
Do it then!
Look out!
A Plague Tale is one of those series that sneaks up on you. You started expecting a dark medieval stealth game, but it ends up wrecking you emotionally. The story follows Amisha and her little brother Hugo as they navigate a world ravaged by war, the Inquisition, and a literal sea of rats. Innocence introduces their bond, fragile but full of love, while Requiem tears it apart in ways you'll never forget. The writing, the atmosphere, the haunting music, everything feels handcrafted to make you care deeply before breaking your heart. It's cinematic storytelling at its finest, intimate, tragic, and powerful in a way most blockbuster games can only dream of. Resident Evil 4. Remake isn't just a modernization, it's a masterclass in how to reimagine a classic without losing its soul. Leon Kennedy's rescue mission through the parasite-infested village feels just as iconic as ever, but now it's more intense, more cinematic, and dripping with atmosphere. The storytelling hits a perfect balance of action and horror, blending dark humor, tension, and character-driven moments that keep you hooked. The remake elevates every cutscene, refines the pacing, and gives Leon's journey a subtle emotional edge. It's proof that a great story doesn't need to change. It just needs to be told better, louder, and with a perfectly timed roundhouse kick.
Cease your pointless struggling. Abandon your body to the will of our God.
You're a shitty missionary. You know that.
Oh, Almighty, grant me the strength to crush your enemies.
son of a bitch! Ashley, run!
Okay.
Hasta luego.
Uncharted 4 feels like the grand finale of an adventure movie you never want to end. Nathan Drake's last journey is filled with treasure hunts, breathtaking set pieces, and heartfelt moments that hit right in the nostalgia. What makes it truly special is how personal it feels. It's less about the treasure and more about the man chasing it. The game dives into themes of obsession, family, and finally letting go of the past. Every dialogue, every chase, every quiet conversation with Elena feels authentic and cinematic. By the time it ends, you don't just close a chapter on a great game, you say goodbye to one of gaming's most beloved heroes.
Let me see if I can clarify.
Metal Gear Solid V is pure Kojima, chaotic, brilliant, and emotionally complex. It throws you into an open world full of espionage, betrayal, and philosophical weirdness, all tied together by Big Boss's descent into darkness. The storytelling here isn't traditional. It's scattered, subtle, and layered through gameplay missions and tapes, yet somehow it works perfectly. Every action you take, every choice you make builds towards a deeper message about war, identity, and loss. It's a story about control, both in narrative and in player agency. And it challenges you to think even as you're blowing things up in slow motion. A flawed masterpiece, but a masterpiece nonetheless. Cyberpunk 2077 had a rough start, but beyond the memes and patches lies one of the most emotionally rich stories in modern gaming. You play as V, a merc stuck between survival and self-destruction, sharing a body with Johnny Silverhand, a ghost of rebellion played perfectly by Keanu Reeves. The story explores identity, legacy, and the illusion of control in a world where everything's for sale. What's wild is how human it all feels, beneath the neon chaos. The side quests alone tell stories deeper than most full games. Once you get lost in Night City, it's not just about cyberware and cool jackets. It's about finding yourself before you fade away. Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't just a story-driven game, it's a storytelling benchmark. Arthur Morgan's journey from loyal outlaw to a man searching for redemption is one of the finest narratives ever written. Every moment feels deliberate, from the quiet campfires to the chaotic shootouts, all serving the story of a dying era and a man realizing his own humanity too late. The characters are unforgettable. The writing is pure gold, and the pacing, though slow, feels cinematic in the best way. It's not just a Western, it's a tragedy, a reflection on loyalty, freedom, and regret. By the end, you're not just playing Arthur's story, you're living it.
Come on, brother. Let's go.
Give me a sec.
Come on. Push, Arthur.
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt isn't just one of many great story games. This is the benchmark, the gold standard for how world building, character writing, and emotional storytelling come together. You play as Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter who's seen it all, yet somehow still finds himself tangled in politics, prophecies, and heartbreak. What makes it so special isn't just the main quest. It's how every side mission feels like its own self-contained story, often better written than most full games. The characters feel alive, from Ciri's fierce independence to Yennefer's sharp wit, and your choices carry real weight, shaping fates in ways that never feel forced. The world breathes. The dialogue sparkles, and the writing balances grim fantasy with deeply human emotion. It's dark, romantic, tragic, and endlessly replayable. A masterpiece that proves a great story doesn't need a cutscene. It just needs a world worth getting lost in.
Giving me no choice.
And that wraps up the list. 22 unforgettable journeys, each one proof that games can tell stories in ways no other medium can. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, share it with your fellow story lovers, and let me know in the comments which game hit you the hardest. And if you want more lists like this, more worlds, more emotions, more stories, make sure you subscribe because we're just getting started. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.